So for this series, we're going to introduce something called the CE Max Utilities, which is developed in-house from the content team, specifically a guy employed here named Danny Mann. Danny, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone.
So Danny has been developing this for, how long have you been developing it?
Oh, half a year.
About half a year. It's quite a developed tool set, specifically for Max, and it's written in Max script.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything written in Python?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. So it's all Max script.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're going to go over the tool itself and see what options are in it, and we'll demonstrate some of the versatility of the tool. So I guess you want to get to it?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. So what do we do first here?
We have the installation files and a small demo scene.
Okay.
So should I show you guys how to install it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to see how to install it.
So just unpack this file, extract here.
Okay. Off screen it's shown it, and he's going to drag it over.
So this is the tool. Just go to Max folder, and there is the installation batch files. Just choose the one you need.
Okay.
For Max 2016, and it's this file here. Example.
Maybe you can answer a question that I have regarding Max 2017. Do we support that in the exporter yet?
In this exporter, the Max plugin isn't released yet.
No, so it's strictly 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I just installed for 2016. But it also works in 2017, except the CRYENGINE Max exporter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So maybe, do you know exactly what that did? So people, if they have to troubleshoot it for any reason, did it go to a specific folder in your C drive, or where did these files go? Just so people know.
Yeah, they go into your users, C users, then your login name, and then go to this hidden folder, app data, and then the Autodesk 3ds Max and 2016 and ENU for US English, and then there is a folder called CE Max Utils. Maybe I can show you guys.
Yeah, maybe you can just drill down in there, and then we'll be able to do it. So, users, any this folder, local Autodesk 3ds Max 2016. Almost there.
Yeah, that's the folder.
Okay.
That's the main folder.
And it's just one folder that goes there?
It's just one folder.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's very helpful for the users to know exactly where it goes.
Yeah.
So glad we went over that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next?
Oh, let's start up Max.
Okay.
So let's maximize.
Okay, so now that Max is open, where exactly does this tool reside?
It installs a new menu option here, and you can use this uppermost entry here.
Okay, so it says cat utilities, and this, and what is cat for those uninformed?
That's the character animation toolkit from developed for Softimage originally, and now it's for several installation of Max. It's now inside standard. It's the standard plugin.
Okay. So
this is the main user interface. It's just a few buttons. It's if you press on these check buttons, then it will open up the different UI modes for modeling. So that's why I call it a tool set. It's not just about cat, but what we want to show is for today just cat.
Just cat.
So so click on it, and this thing opens up.
Okay.
Minimize it. So so the different rollouts.
You have a picker. You have a create, a cat rig create, where you can do.
It's also small. Yeah, it's a list, kind of an outliner of skinned objects and what are cat objects.
So if you had different cat objects in your scene, it would show up there
Yeah,
on what you could do. Okay.
So look in the demo scene here. So let's try. So this one.
Okay. There's a lot of animated characters there.
Yeah. So I'll put them to layers.
Mm-hmm.
So now, the first thing is you have to activate this callback event.
Okay. And that's where it sniffs out what is in the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will also update when you load and open something or delete something. But that's also the downside of this tool. It will, if you create something like 100 nodes at once, and then it will try to update 100 times. So it will stagger and then it will lag.
Okay.
So you can make it. You can switch it off on. You will see that that's the problem. Sometimes is
the refresh.
Yeah, the refresh problem.
Okay.
So yeah, once you see, then you have on the topmost list.
Mm-hmm.
These are the skinned meshes inside this scene. Then we have here 4 skinned meshes.
Okay.
Which also looks like it's the bones, but if you go with the mouse over the geometry, then you will see that it's just one geometry, not several pieces.
Okay.
So you see, you can click on it, and all these 3 lists have a right mouse click option.
Okay.
So
Nice.
you can refresh and isolate, and these are the export options for CRYENGINE files, CHR, skin, for the iCAF animation, also the open scene folder where it's stored.
So with that, on the right click, you're actually able to just export the CHR just with one click?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you don't have to go here and, as you are used to, click on this. I think it will open up automatically when you use it, but you don't have to,
you don't have to go find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the cat objects, and if you know cat, then there is this cat parent, and all the other nodes like cat bones and IK target and whatever.
So that's mainly the selection set.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can click on it, and since we have on the left this outliner,
Mm-hmm.
you see I already sorted them into layers of where the model is and where the rig is. So the rig layer is incorporates includes all the cat bones.
Okay.
But they are actually hidden. So we can use another function here. It's hide select. You can just click on it. Then it will
Then you see everything. Nice.
Yeah, because now they are on top of each other. The mesh and the bone. So click on it and so put it aside, and then you can see that this one is the rig, or the skeleton hierarchy, and this is the skinned mesh.
Okay.
So
And just from my understanding here, when I see the max bone set right there, there's a gradient. What exactly does that do?
I think it's just for visual.
Just visualization.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was like skin enveloping or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's looking nice.
Yeah.
Rather than just one color. So, yeah, I think the most important thing is this here, because we have 4 rigs at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We have here 4 cat parents, and that's the character node.
Yes.
For this whole thing. So you have this robot, you can set it, and you can leave with this show mode active. Then you have this kind of a debug view here. So you see this is a current rig, the robot, called the robot, and mode is animation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can right click and you can go into the rig mode, and you'll see that this robot switch back to the skin pose.
Yeah.
If you yeah. That's also for the saw. So,
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
so next thing, maybe this character picker.
Okay.
We have a small auto setup function. Usually, you would build a character picker for each character you make.
Mhm.
So, but sometimes you are just lazy and you want something fast, and this is what this auto setup is for. We have this current rig is the auto saw,
Mhm.
and then we can use this auto setup and then just click on it. And these buttons, see, this is called PV, pelvis bone.
Mhm.
It's just a short.
And how is it actually deciding where to stick the controls? Or, well, they're not really controls, but how is it deciding it? Based on the joint chain? And the actual tree? Or is it something else?
There is a special ID for this for these nodes, and it's a hex number or some weird numbers, and it lets the script let you decide how to find the head, or it's a hub. It's a cat hub object, and that's why it's called now a head. Or
Okay,
also,
so it's kind of like a file mask. It's finding that exact bone.
yeah.
Okay.
So you can right leg and see that's the right leg.
Mm-hmm.
You can use also these gizmos, but that's how you maybe know from Maya.
Yes.
You have this this circle thing, and picking the right leg. But I haven't set it up, so
That's fine. So, okay. Stepping down, I guess. What maybe we can go over.
yeah, that's a rig create. So sometimes, as a tech artist, you make the rig, so you just drawing those bones, and you don't have the final geometry, and you will want to give something out with the skin, and so it can render, and you can see it in CRYENGINE. So what I implemented a new function. Well, it's a shortcut function to create a fast mesh. So like you can choose the geometry type here.
Yes.
Sometimes
it's kind of like white boxing at this point.
Yeah. So that's you just use a B box, so bounding box. So
for those that don't know, the bounding box is a box, as it says, that draws around a shape, and it doesn't take in all of the actual contours of the shape. It just takes the min and max values and then creates the box that actually encapsulates the mesh.
So switch this on, and you will see that actually the head of this dinosaur has a custom shape, and we can just use the bounding box instead for the mesh. So we can just create it, make CHR from character from selected cat rig. That will take some time, so it can take up to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So just wait.
Okay, so now we're back, and it has created the mesh, correct? And maybe we can break it down.
We can just switch off the other layers first.
Okay.
So this is the new skin.
It has full enveloping.
Yeah.
What kind of skinning does it use? Is it closest distance to the joints?
It's a rigid skinning, so it knows that depends on the joint name. It will just kind of attach it to the joint name, so it will bind rigidly bind to the joint.
So it kind of uses a parent-child relationship through the joint. I'm not saying an actual constraint, but it acts like that in the same way. Okay.
So
all right. So we have helper size, and these are some things people might use.
Yeah, just for the CRYENGINE, if you need the skeleton CHR.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can select this the mesh. So
Yes.
select it, and then you can create it. And sort of this little triangle mesh inside. As you can see.
Yeah. And this
It is-
physicalizes the skeleton, I believe, inside of the engine. That's cool.
So it's also the size. You have to define it prior to clicking on this button. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
also you can choose to add an export route. This will make a node on top of the pelvis. So this was the pelvis, and this is the node it created.
Okay.
So set up locator locomotion. I think this is still beta and not fully implemented. But
Okay.
that's yeah. On some rigs it poses no problem, but then in some other rigs it's just wrong.
To be clear, the locator locomotion is actually the root motion, which is used through the animation to drive the motion clips or the motion fragments within Mannequin.
Yes.
So, for those that don't understand what locator locomotion is, that's what it is. Okay. So
next thing is the resize. Everyone asked for nice and fast resize for a skinned mesh, and then I built in this function, so you can, based on the CAD unit, CAD rig unit size. so you can see if you click on the CAD parent,
yes.
you'll see this CAD units. So if you make it like 2 and then resize it. And then resize.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
A little bit bigger than.
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger now.
Yeah. So
cool.
Next one. CAD layers. So if you have animations here for this CAD rig,
Yes.
you can switch.
So he obviously has an animation. Yes.
So this is the animation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of kind of a duplicate of this layer manager.
Okay.
So it's based on names. So if if you have several layers with the same name, it will just show up once. So so it knows this, like this local motion layers. They are all just additive to the base layer,
Mm-hmm.
the base animation layer. Then it'll just display once. Yeah.
Okay.
And the right mouse click, it's also here where you can export just this.
Just the iCaf,
yeah.
So that's, to be clear, that's an intermediate CAF file,
Yeah.
which is what the engine uses to, prior to compression. Once you actually select the compression and create the DBA inside of the engine, or the editor itself, then it becomes a CAF file. But it exports as an I_CAF file from Max. And that's the way it works. Okay. So, yeah, we have walk on spot, walk on line.
Yeah, walk on spot is just because we already have a.
This is in place animation.
Yeah. So. Oops. Switch to line.
Okay. Nice. It's like Robinson already.
Yeah. So, all these animations are procedural animations, so there is nothing keyframe by hand, and so it's.
But that's
nice.
where the animation layers, you can keep adding to them, and I suppose you could do hand keying or secondary layers to override.
Mm.
So keep that in mind. You can get pretty far with the procedural content, and then you just decorate on top of it with other animation layers.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, these the next thing is the manage layers, and so if you have many different animation layers, then you can just turn them all on or off all at once.
Okay.
So that's why it states. Yeah. And also delete layers, like all layers except the non-active one. So you just activate the layers you need, and you want to purge all the other ones, then you just click on this non-active. Yeah.
Now, wait, what would exactly be a use case in this scenario? Is it to collapse your stack and make sure that you can hand it over and it's not as complicated with that, or is it? I'm just trying to understand what would be something or some reason somebody would actually delete the cat layers
Yes.
in general.
And sometimes if you just want to show one animation and you have some kind of an idle and walk and then runs, and you just want to show the idle, then you will want to strip out the walk and run, and then you just delete the layers. But it's a shortcut, so you don't have to go into this list
it makes sense.
and then clicking and on and off. So that's just a small shortcut.
Okay.
And what we have here on the next is the plot cat animation.
And
So-
with plot, is that baking?
Yeah.
Baking.
It's animation baking.
Okay. So you have blend in frame count.
Yeah.
Is this blending in from idle at the beginning, or is this the entire timeline? No, the time range is at the bottom. What is the blend in frame count?
It blends from the skin pose.
Yeah,
So-
okay, so yeah, the bind pose, the
Yeah.
skin pose.
Mm.
All right,
So you activate this by hitting this option.
okay,
Mostly used for simulation.
okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the time range.
But you can also bake it with the right mouse button here. We have also this nice bake current animation, and then we'll just bake out this animation, plotted one.
Mhm.
See that it's just let's go further.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
stops.
exactly. So it stops at the time range at 172.
Now this refresh is not it's not interactive. So if you delete something, then you have to hit refresh again.
Up top, I think also it's the event callback. Do we need to have that on?
Yeah, but it
Does that
acts
require?
just currently it acts just for these three lists.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if that was part of the reason. Okay. So you have time range, you're baking. I also saw something if you right click on run there that it says frame animation length. Does that adjust the length down at the bottom based on the animations? I'm curious, what does that do?
Yeah, because this is a cat motion layer. It has a value where it states the length of the cycle.
Mhm.
That's shown here. This is the maximum step time. This is the cycle length. It's 16 frames. So if you have 16 frames, just so if you play, wait, okay, right click and move it on the spot, and then play again. This is a loop. As you
Okay.
can see, this is what it does. So you don't have to go into this cat motion window and then click on the globals and then set the length and then moving the timeline.
Okay, that makes sense. And then it just pulls it
Mm.
automatically. It's very convenient.
Mm.
Top, is there anything else that you want to show? Or because it, like you said, it's utilities past the
Yeah.
cat stuff at the very top. I mean, there's some stuff there. Anything that you particularly like, even beyond this?
Yes, there are quite a few other stuff that's quite nice to have. It's like the building the proxies, so I can maybe make a new scene.
Sure. It's just easy to bash it out if you have anything, and then boom.
It's the
Okay, so it's the famous teapot.
famous event.
Create your physics proxy. Nice.
It's a convex hull, so
Mm-hmm.
based on the point count or the vertex count, you can give it like 12. And just delete it once again. So
Yeah, so you can optimize pretty quickly.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
You can also inflate the convex hull, but you have to do it before you click on this button. So this.
Nice. It's a good feature, just a tweak. You never know.
Yeah.
Bounding box, as we said before.
Etc. And it's nice as if you have
Now, with this physics, is it applying a material that has a no-draw surface, or is this something that you would still have to apply afterwards to have physics in the engine?
it will make a new shader. So
Yeah, exactly. That answered the question. So that's perfect because it sets up the users to have a no-draw service on the Crytek shader by default. So you don't have to go in and click all those. So it's a huge convenience. Interesting. So you can even select vertices and you just... That'd be great for, say, you have a character and then you're able to select like the upper arm and then you just create a physics proxy based on that selection.
yes.
Perfect. Okay. And so we have all sorts of tools. What does this do exactly? What is the inspect?
Inspect, it's a huge diagnostic tool set. So sometimes when you look at Maya, then you can display the bone names, and then you can also or look at a CRYENGINE character tool. There's also where you can show the bone names and
Yeah, inside of the character tool. I think people are quite familiar with that. At least I know a lot of people would go back to Game SDK and start sniffing out what bone is this. So it would be doing something and you had to know. Similar to this. So you can see that it's robot, right arm, left arm, even right leg digit. So you can filter as well. Nice.
so it's instant. So if you
So it brings up all the arms as well. Nice. Okay.
So, what's next? Okay, there's something else.
Okay.
You can make a geosphere like.
So you're making a sphere and have to describe exactly what you're planning and doing.
Yeah, so you can like display the vertex IDs. That's for debugging, I think. Most of the if you're planning to scripting some codes where you manipulating the vertices or whatever, and then you want to just know that this is the correct vertex you tweaked. So vertex.
Cool.
Just going to also display the edges.
Yeah, you notice a lot of the times, like if you're skinning and you change the vertex count, then it will shift, and that's where a lot of the weighting gets messed up. So it's a good way to monitor too the vertex IDs in general. At least that's how I end up doing this kind of stuff. And then I go into, since I am one of those people who uses Maya, it's I go into the component editor and I find out, as you put right there, selected components, which vertice has which influence on it, and how it's being affected.
And you can also select vertex end faces, and then it will display it.
Nice.
So and the next thing is also you can also select the vertex by an ID or by an array. So if you just want to select the vertex ID 1, then you'll see this is the vertex ID 1.
And you get the first one.
Yeah. And also you can select it by a list, so it's a bit array.
Yes.
It's a special thing, but you have to get this notation. It's from 1 to 10 by this double 2 dots.
Yep. Is that a max thing, or is that something that you implemented the 2 dots to actually?
That's a max thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're still doing the first one. You have to change it to the by array,
Okay.
and then you're
So-
selecting.
Yeah. Select it. And these are the vertices. Yeah.
Nice.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you know, they're all just like spread out. I'm sure it's based on certain points where it appears that way. So it draws out and creates the mesh as a primitive and then keeps expanding and then subdividing or tessellating, which is exactly what this is. Creating a fuller dome.
You can also step to the next vertex. This next and previous button. Just in case you want to know if you hit the vertex number 10, but you want the number 9 and 11, and then you just press on this previous and next button. So you don't have to search for them.
Okay.